All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone Ruel, and salutations to the hopeful lay brothers out there pushing this truth with all diligence and sincerity, risking your freedoms and your lives to do so. This is the brother Lahab coming to you with another lesson. It's going to be a quick impromptu. It's on the news. You know, I didn't have anything in specific, but it's a lot of things going on in the news. You know, 4 hours ago when I was on the job, I saw this little thing about the Annabelle doll. You know, actually that was probably like early this morning I saw it, but then they, you know, I guess this is another article I didn't see. You know, experts demanding that it be destroyed. You know, which, hey, it's enough spirits in this place. It doesn't matter what gets destroyed. The spirit of Antichrist is what's gonna jack you people up, man. All right, it is tremendous judgment going on about. You know, here it is. You know, one article I had clicked on. Chicago-born teacher. All these stupid ass, man. It says stabbed a married couple at Arkansas State Park. Faced with the death penalty, you know, because that's down south. You know, they do capital punishment down there, man. But sooner rather than later, you know, this beast system is gonna spread to where guys like this are gonna be out on the streets because the economy's so bad. All right, which leads us to the next article to go into. You know, because he's coming with crashing the economy, as well as, you know, pestilence is coming. President Donald Trump said FBI may have to help arrest Texas Democratic lawmakers to their home state after more than 50 fled to block a Republican redistricting plan that could flip 5 U.S. congressional seats. A lot of people are demanding they come back. You can just sit it out. You have to go back, said Trump at an August 5 president event, right? Because most of those guys, you know, most of those Democrats are losing their jobs, all right? So, of course, they're trying to flip certain laws that this guy is bringing about, man, all right? So you have a lot of in-house fighting amongst, you know, what is this, Democrat versus Republican, or Democrat on Democrat, or Republican versus Republican. It says Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety August 4th to arrest Democratic lawmakers. His order was designed to force the absconding legislators to comply with civil arrest warrants that state Republican lawmakers voted to issue earlier in the day. However, it has not been clear how Texas law enforcement will be able to force the Democrats back to Texas when they are in states where local law enforcement might not be willing to execute the warrants. Many of them went to the Chicago area in Illinois, where Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker greeted them. It goes on. But yeah, man, you know, you got Republicans against this guy, but also you have you know, the Democrats, which is the natural order of things. But the scriptures talk about this, man. Yeah, this is Mark 3 and 23. It says, and he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And everything in the society is division, man. So much that even capitalizes on it. That's how foolish and wicked this man is, man. All right, he capitalizes on things that are actually destroying his kingdom. It's like, well, I might as well get a piece of it since it's going on, man. But also, it's backfiring against it, man. All right, and the citizens see how backwards that their kings are, man. All right, but the main thing I really wanted to hit on, that's fluff news at the top. Aside from these two, and then you got earthquakes happening in diverse places, man, as the scripture says. All right. Yeah, this is Luke Luke 12. Freaking ads, man. This that's another thing, and they even shows you that in Black Mirror. The more this place goes down, the more you're gonna have everything being merchandised. Everything, you know, everything's for sale. What's funny, they even had that in what was that? The show Rick and Morty, where they were talking about how an economy or a system fails. It was a spaghetti episode, but they were showing you what's about to come to this world, man. Cannibalism, that's one thing, as well as economy failing. All right. But it says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. You got kingdoms rising against each other, as well as different races and in-house fighting. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences. Which, hey, what is this guy right here talking about? RFK is talking about a 500 million development plan for a vaccine. A guy who was supposed to be against him, supposedly, or so you thought, just to lure people in to a false sense of security, to trusting their government all over again. Because that's really what it's all about. Every time you get somebody in office, they're acting as if they're gonna do what what's best for you, but really it's all a plan to see, well, how can we get you into trusting your government again? How can we get you into following our plans? Okay, yeah, those guys, they're crazy. But let's go about this way. Let's keep on walking. You'll find that you're going to be in the same exact place. You just went a different way. All right. But it's all the same with E. Like it says, people are talking about Republican, Democrat. This is the lamb that spake as a dragon, man. That dragon that had two horns like a lamb, bro. This is that it comes peaceably, but it's all the same design. But this is going to be what? Another pestilence. Because we know that they created diseases. Center for Disease Control, man. Or Center for Disease Development, which is what it really should be called. All right, it says the Department of Health and Human Services will cancel contracts and pull funding for some vaccines that are being developed to fight respiratory viruses, etc. It's Washington. All right. It says Robert, RFK, the health secretary and a longtime vaccine critic, announced in a statement Tuesday that 500 mil worth of vaccine development projects, all using the tech, will be halted. This is all fair use. This is a public news site. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Nothing is for monetary gains, nor is this false information. All right. It says the projects, 22 of them, are being led by some of the nation's leading pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer. Oh, remember how that went so well? Nobody got ill or perished from these things. But he's saying he's using these same companies. There's no foul play here. Oh, well, let's see if we can clean them up and see what was the issue there. Because it's the same thing, man. All right. Kennedy said in Tuesday's statement that he wants the health department to move away from vaccines, calling on the department to start investing in better solutions. This is what it's supposed to be about, man. Hey, we're just, that didn't go well, and people are against it, and they're not trying to mask up anymore. So we got to find a better solution to fight this disease that has impacted millions and billions, but which isn't true. All right, we already know that they created these things and put certain things into play that were not of, the C19. All right. Once again, these are pestilences that are going to come about in these last days. It says pestilences and fearful sights and great signs there shall there be from the heaven. And we already know what that is, man. It's going to go into the chariots, as well as, because what just happened recently, you had the NASA guy who said that he recalled seeing 7-foot giant. I don't see it in here in my little Rolodex, but yeah, he recalled 7-foot giant so-called black men, and he made it plain. He said what he said, African American. All right. And then it was cited what he said, former NASA representative, said that he had saw these UFOs, so-called UFOs, are the chariots of the Bible, the chariots of the Most High, and he saw giant, men getting out of them, that look like us. All right, so it goes to show you that what we've been saying is true, man. All right. As a matter of fact, I can get it just to, back it up according to the only truth in this earth, which is the scriptures, man. All right. But yeah, this is talking about the angels, but I'm trying to see if this is where it mentions their color. Because these are cherubims. You have different forms of angels. Some angels have wings, some don't. Like the angel that came to Samson's parents. He didn't have wings. He looked like a man. You also had, what was his name? Raphael came in the form of a man. Some angels, they come in that form, and some come with, they may have a man's face, but they, these angels right here had different heads. This is Ezekiel 1:4. It says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, and of the midst of the fire, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures." And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. All right, so one of their likenesses was of a man, and it says, and they 4 had 4 faces, and everyone had the 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished bronze. So their skin tone was brown. That man's face was brown, but they also had a glow on them as well, right? They you know how you would see someone power up, they had a strong fiery aura about them. All right, you know, this is the attributes that they had. All right, likewise, it mentions the other faces that they have. But hey, when angels come down, they look like so-called black men. This is how the you know the people of the Lord look, man. All right, they have the color of melanin. All right, so I just brought that out to say that these are all the things that are going to happen in these last days when the Lord begins to come back, man. All right, you're going to have the constellations in the heavens. All right, you're going to have the different chariots. Like it says, it's going to be fearful sights, man, along with those nukes, and you're going to see different what you're going to see different signs in the times. All right, shooting stars, meteors, things of that effect, blood moons. All right, fearful sights, on up into the missiles, which is going to be the greatest fearful sight to come, man. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you. So before all this, and this is what happened, man. All right, delivering you up to the synagogues and into the prisons. This was, around what was it, 90 AD. All right, this isn't gonna happen anymore, man. All right, this is over with. All right, it says that your teacher shall not be backed into a corner anymore. All right. But hey, nevertheless, we do have to be persecuted as well unto the end. But this pretty much happened during 40 AD Salakia. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Because that happened way before these times. Now, is what that goes into. Because now we're in these last days when these things are about to come to pass. All right. Number one thing being is this one. Russia walks out of nuclear treaty with U.S. All right. So this is, we're in the times of war and rumors of war, but this is going to be the end all be all. This is a sign, but we know what we're waiting on is the next thing that's going to happen. There has to be this digital system put into place, the so-called RFID chip, the very chip. All right. And this goes into fulfillment of prophecy. All right, this is Ezekiel 38:2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and the Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power. Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So it's talking about this third world war that's going to happen, man. All right. Which this is this is a sign, of the Lord putting the hooks into their jaws, man. Russia exits treaty with U.S. Trump submarine deployment, citing NATO policies. Right, because Trump and he got into it with that former president of Russia. All right, and what did he do? He decided to play big man and put some ships around them, saying like, I don't like how that guy was talking, that former official. You guys over there might be getting some funny ideas, so let me put my ships over here. When you go through the tweets, he didn't have to do that. All right, but this is it says that he was more stout than all his fellows. America's a very proud land, and who better to be president of this place than DJ Trump right now? All right. America is the land of the proud. All right. So yeah, whether Russia decides to forgive, and they make another treaty or a deal with America, because America's pulled out of these deals before, I think it's gonna say it. Yeah, see, America's pulled out before. So yeah, it's really about to get on and popping.
Will put on its stockpiles necessary to defend this country. That's absolutely clear. But it will mean that Ukraine can get its
Pause it real quick.
hands on.
It says Russian Foreign Ministry said the moratorium is void, blaming the West's missile deployments and NATO's hostile actions. So, in which NATO has been hostile. All right, NATO is just another way of saying America, really. All right, although it's a organization of different countries, that don't belong to America. It's really just, well, are you down with American ways, man? Forgetting our aid, you're gonna have to be down with us. All right.
Really. Massive numbers.
However they move, like if America wants to go to war, they got to be down for it.
Defense, but also missiles, ammunition, etc.
Which is why a lot of those lands, according to prophecy, that are with NATO, they're gonna pull out, because it's like it says, these 10 horns shall hate the whore, man. All right, everybody's gonna turn on America sooner rather than later. All right, it says Russia claims the West's actions, including missile proliferation, I can't really read that, and nuclear submarine deployments pose a direct threat. And they do. But this is the same MO that America was about.